have indeed. We raced down here to try and see if we could get on a bit of a Ferrari safari, and as you can see, the two brothers are just disappearing into the long autumn grass south into Mala Mala. And you can see, look at the size of their tummies. They obviously had a really good meal at some point today, so the two of them are probably going towards a waterhole that is not far from here, and maybe that's where they're going to rest. I'm hoping that that is the case, that they go onto the dam wall, because we can often see that dam wall quite nicely. But there you go, the two of them are there, and they might scent mark at that fallen over tree. They often do. It's one of their sort of marking points. You find they'll lift their tail, there we go, and they're going to spray, and you'll find the next male will do the exact same thing on the exact same tree. They often utilize that fallen over stump to mark their territory. Now I know it is very far away, but it's still so good to see them, and to see the two of them back together. This is the first time actually that I've seen the two of them back together since they did rejoin, so it's really good to see the boys back in town and back together again. Now, like I say, I think they've had a really big meal. I saw Peter from Nkoro earlier, and he was telling me that they were chasing impalas, and I think he said that they caught one at Nkoro this morning, so that's why they've got such big full bellies. But you can see they just melt into that grass from a distance. It's almost impossible to see them when they go low in the grass. Now there's the other brother. He's going to mark on the exact same spot, so you see he's sniffing around, so he'll be just smelling just to see if there's any sign of other cheetah that could have been around, like males or females. And then he sprays on the other side now, so they've definitely covered that branch in a lot of urine, and that will signal to any other individual that this is their territory. Now I believe a lot of you are excited that you're seeing the two Cheetah brothers. It is exciting. Spending time with these two is so good. And Sebastian and I were actually talking about it the other day when we were on walk, which was about a week ago, just over a week ago, and he was telling me that he hasn't seen a cheetah in like 6-7 years, and that he has bad luck with cheetah. So super happy that we can see them and that he's got a chance to see them again. I'm sure he's beaming from ear to ear behind the camera.
Can you show them how far they are?
Yes, we can show them how far we are, Seb.
Start on one and then zoom out so they can see.
So Seb's going to show you exactly how far they are from where we are, and just how incredible these cameras actually are, that they can pick up these cheetah from such a long way away. This is why they like it here, is because of how open and how easy it is for them to be able to see prey items. So there you go, you can see from there. It's impossible to see those two cheetah, but luckily we have the technology to be able to go right in and be able to actually see the two of them as they disappear into the long grass. But like I was saying, I'm hoping there is a waterhole there with a little sort of dam wall, and I'm hoping they're going to go lie on top of the dam wall, because it's actually quite nice from up there. We should be able to get a clear view of them. Now they've gone into a little bit of thick grass, and it's really almost impossible to see them. Even with the naked eye now, I've lost sort of sight of them. So I'm hoping they're going to go towards the dam wall, and we'll be able to get one last little look at them before they then disappear. But it's really good news, because in a few, probably tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon, this will be a great place to check. And if not tomorrow, the next day, they'll come back and use the same route to go back north. This is their favorite place to cross in and out, and they use this to sort of traverse their territory and make use of it. So this is a really good place to be for them. Now we're going to try to just see if these guys do go into the dam wall, and while we do that, Taylor is still walking around and still looking for all the little things, so let's go back across to her. Indeed, the one is luckily stopped and is just looking around in the long grass and seeing what's happening. The other one has just gone behind that little dam wall. You can see it on the left-hand side there. That's where the dam wall starts, and it then runs towards the east. And so the other one has just gone in behind there. So we're going to probably lose sight of this individual too shortly as it goes. But isn't that amazing? Now I know it was a very brief. Just getting my tongue tied a bit. Welcome back to work, Tristan. A very brief glimpse of them, but still so good to see. Ah, there we are. So it just shows you how difficult it is actually to see them. So you can imagine if these two cheetah were lying down now, even though they were there, you would be able to walk right past them or drive right past them, and you wouldn't even know that they're there. So incredible. So Milo, the zoo-loving scientist. Well, Milo, I do like your Twitter handle. It is one of the better ones I've heard in a while. But you're wondering how long these two stay together and whether a female will get in the way of them staying together. Well, these two have been together for as long as I've known about them, which is since 2011 is the first time they were seen in this area. And so they've been together since then. So that's 6 years that they've stayed together. Now, in terms of females, if there's a female in heat, then yes, the one will probably split off a little bit and mate, but the other one won't go far. They kind of stay in touch with one another, and it's very, very seldom that they do split apart. Now, earlier I said I'm glad to see them back together. Now, what I was referring to was not because a female had split them. Unfortunately for these two cheetah brothers, they got split by some lions. So lions chased them and they ended up running in different directions, and then they kept missing each other. They kept walking back and forth in this area, and they would miss each other by an afternoon or a day. You can see they can cover quite a bit of distance, so they've come all the way from Torchwood through Nkoro today and onto Cheetah Plains and now into Mala Mala. So that's what they've covered during just this day today. So they often were missing each other, and then it took them a while to kind of come together, and that's why they scent mark like this. As they were scent marking, the other brother would have realized he's been through this area, I need to just keep coming and checking, and they eventually then came back together. So really good that they are back together. But females generally no, they just mate for the 2-3 days. The other male stays quite close by, and then they're back together and off they go again. But I think that's the last that we're going to get of them as they disappear down into the long grass. So James, this is an interesting one because unfortunately I don't know how far it extends into Kruger, but you're wondering how large their territory is. What I do know from our side and the Sabi Sands, these guys go almost towards the Sand River, and then they go up into Buffelshoek and sometimes even as far as Manyeleti and into Kruger as well. Now, like I say, I'm not sure how far they extend east into Kruger, but I reckon that their territory must be easily between 10 and 20,000 hectares, so a really, really big portion of land, and that's quite common for cheetah. Because the numbers are very low in the Kruger National Park area, there's not that many of them. They can expand and get really large territories. Right, so we've lost visual of them. We're going to carry on and see what else we can find, because that was absolutely spectacular, and while we do that, I believe Jamie's got something spectacular of her own.